Hey guys, Loco here. For you today, I have G2 versus Fnatic. It is such a treat to watch G2. I think whenever I watch LEC, it is mostly only G2, like Rogue, Fnatic. It is the top tier teams. It is so different from North America. I think C9 is the only team that's actually playing proper League of Legends. And in Europe, it's so much about early game execution, and G2 is the perfect example of that. In this game, we have that exact same situation. G2 drafts an early execution comp, Fnatic drafts more of a scaling comp, and the game is between can G2 execute early or not, or will Fnatic be able to scale. So without further ado, let's get to the draft. So for the bans, I think Fnatic bans are actually very understandable. Akali, very standard red side ban. I don't think she's ever going to see play until she gets giga nerfed. Syndra, a really good flex for both perks and caps. And also Soraka. Wunder has just been amazing on Soraka, and G2 loves their priority comps with extremely aggressive jungle and mid, and the Soraka ultimate supporting it is a nightmare to play versus. For G2 on the other hand, I don't understand the bans that much. I understand the Ornn ban is a very common Blippo ban, and as for Set and Gragas, I'm sure G2 scrimmed Fnatic, I'm sure G2 has been scouting Fnatic better than I have, so there's that. Now when we get to the picks, the thing that stands out to me the most is Senna over Aphelios. I think almost every team in the world would prefer Aphelios over Senna, but G2 is a little bit of a different case. They love playing skirmishes early, and Senna is one of the only AD carries right now that has a global tool. Like Senna ult on a top lane skirmish or a mid lane skirmish or a jungle skirmish is such a deal breaker, especially for a team like G2 that fights all the time. So the little bit interesting tidbit there, the Senna over Aphelios. And then the other one is the Aatrox GP, right? I mean, we talk about this matchup all the time. I talked about it in the last video. I talked about it on Face Check. It is not that much of a counter matchup one way or the other, and you can play either side. But Aatrox is more about skirmishing. Aatrox is more about flanking. Aatrox is a more proactive pick. It is definitely the easier pick in my opinion, while GP is the more scaling pick. GP is the more teamfight pick. GP is the more late game, I'm going to be a real threat pick. GP does have better laning than Aatrox, especially in the earlier levels, 1 to 6, just due to how his passive and corrupting pot works, but Aatrox can turn it with the jungle gank very easily, or if GP makes a mistake. Now for the rest of the draft, the Ryze pick caught me a little bit off guard. Normally you want to pair Ryze with a strong AD jungler, like a Rek'Sai, like a Lee, but G2 doing it with Elise, and also G2's preference for Elise over Lee or any other jungler. I think G2 loves diving, and Jankos is an excellent Elise, so yeah, that Elise pick gonna come in really clutch. So overall, G2 has really strong top side of the map with Aatrox, Ryze, and Elise, and we can expect a lot of action, where bot lane is gonna be a little bit more independent and defensive. Braum and Senna, not incredibly aggressive champions, but they're very good at surviving by themselves, and Senna assisting over the map. For Fnatic, they picked their infamous Veigar into Ryze. They did this versus SKT. So Veigar is actually a scaling pick. He needs time for him to get stacks on Q and also the 2 Frosty items for him to really come online. So there's a little bit of opening there. And the GP pick also is very much a scaling pick. The only real aggressive and like priority lane they have is the Aphelios Nautilus, so we're gonna have to look to Fnatic bot side to solve a lot of the problems that Fnatic's gonna have in the early game. So those are the win conditions. Now let's get started with the game. The action starts really early with Fnatic invading G2's top side. When Elise gets their normal level 3, it's so much easier for her. She's also stronger than Lee until Lee is like level 6ish where he has his ult. And GP right here, so there's this mastery where you get bonus movement speed if you use Corrupting Potion, and GP has the Corrupting Potion burn and its passive burn, so he's a monster champion at level 1. And also he has the grass. Looks like Fnatic coming in to push out G2. Perked, getting greedy, walking on the right side, doesn't realize Lee also went the right side, it's gonna have to walk up, but Bo chasing him down. And Selfmade going for a flash Q, and Perked forced to burn his flash. Even though Perked was really chunked, Elise did get to start her jungle normally. She's going to be able to get wolves while Lee hasn't started yet. And Lee also burned flash. So a little bit of a jungle lead in the cost of the mid lane lead. The mid lane lead isn't going to mean that much because Perk is able to TP back mid side. And also it is versus a Veigar, a champion that Ryze should be fine with early game. And like clockwork, G2 doing their top side dive. Wunder has built up a huge wave. You can see Blippo only has 6 CS compared to Wunder's 15. This is a lot from what happened in the level 1. And Yanko's coming up here for the dive. I mean, Elise is just such a monster when it comes to dives. Like, watch, Elise is going to start the dive. She's going to start. Oh, she didn't even get to start because she missed the cocoon. But yeah, the Elise dive pattern is she starts with range autos and Q. And then she goes into cocoon, into melee form. And she gets to reset aggro with repel. and dodge a turret shot. So she's basically tanking turret for such a long time while putting on a lot of damage. It's such a dangerous combo. And cuz Whipple had to back, remember the Aatrox versus GP matchup we talked about, the CS differential is 22-6. Whipple is forced to burn TP. He's just in a really, really bad spot. And this matchup is going to be Aatrox favored for pretty much rest of the game now when GP's early game gets fucked like this. The only thing that can really turn it is like a gank on top side. Everything's a butterfly effect. You're going to see Fnatic play for bot side now. Selfmade playing for the Scuttle, Reckless and Hylissang hiding, and Wonder's going to be walking top, and Whipple doesn't have TP from what happened earlier. So Hylissang opening up Braum, Caps and Mickey X actually turning on Reckless, and the TP coming in from Wonder. Reckless burn Flash. Rest of G2 just going to go ham for Reckless because they know he doesn't have Flash. And Yanko is landing the Cocoon before Hylissang can Flash. And people got a little bit greedy there. So Hylissang almost got away, but Caps able to land the final last hit and also going to live. Now, Fnatic doesn't have any flashes on bot side, so G2 and rest of their family are for a fact going to come and redive this. I mean, Fnatic didn't have Flash, they got Dragon, and they got a little greedy trying to push in the wave all the way, so Hylissang kind of overstaying and dying. This is just what happens. And G2 making aggressive play on top side, they burned Whipple's Flash and they got him off the turret, but they kept chasing. Even though Nemesis is mid lane, he was gone from their vision for a while. That's why Perks didn't commit to the 2v2, because it could have turned into a 2v3 at any time with Nemesis closing in. So the interesting thing was after that kill, Perks stayed topside and he kept the wave frozen on Whipple, and because they burned his flash earlier from the attempted dive, Whipple was forced to walk up if he wants any kind of CS, and they're going to be able to kill him. Just this GP is out of game. I feel bad for you, Whipple. So G2 isn't without their flaws, and I think especially when they play Fnatic, they get a little bit more crazy because it's a little bit more personal. Caps has no reason to walk up all the way here. Selfmade gonna punish with QWR, beautiful insect, got to save Flash. Caps had Flash the whole time also. And now Nemesis TPing in behind, putting the stun down on Jankos. Jankos gonna get hit by the Lee Sin Q also. Nice kill with the Veigar ult. Mickey flashing over. Fnatic a little bit too excited here. I'm not sure why they're trying to dive the Braum with a stopwatch and ultimate, but yeah. Still, overall good for Fnatic, just a little overeager from Hilly. Now G2 going in for the dive topside. Really great flash from Whipple, able to pop the barrel. The GP ult doing work on Perks, getting that final Q. Oof, this is so good for Fnatic. This allows them to even up across the entire map. And they also get Inferno. They're really getting closer and closer to their scaling breaking point. If they can keep the game even and constantly stack dragons, they might have a shot at this game. I found the timing for this play really weird from G2. Perks has an entire wave stacked up on mid lane and he TP'd. And G2 starting with the Herald on bot side. They still have a minute until the plating is gone, so they don't need to force this right away. Lee going in on Caps. Caps flashing out and then buying time with stopwatch. Mickey X doing the same, buying time with stopwatch. Caps' ult unfortunately didn't go off, he died during the cast time. G2 is able to find the return kill due to Aatrox TPing in, Perks using his ult to come in. It's just they didn't need to do that Herald play right there and then, and they could have waited. They still have a full minute left on the turret, so yeah, just a little overeager from G2 when they didn't have priority on mid side. So here we have a dragon for the second Herald trade. Second Herald, while it is the more powerful Herald, it isn't as useful sometimes because it's after the turret plating is gone normally. And Fnatic gonna be able to get their third Drake almost close to that Dragon Soul, just need one more. It is a little unfortunate that it is the Mountain Soul. If it was any other soul, I think it would be so much more valuable. Just Mountain Soul is kind of troll when the only tank you have is Nautilus, and Nautilus is going to be giga tanky anyways because of Aftershock and Stoneplate. So yeah, just a little bit unlucky for Fnatic. Now here we have Reckless and Wonder fighting for priority on mid side. Reckless going in with the Gravitum Q to snare. Hylissang with the hook to follow. So this is where Senna is so crucial. That Senna ult saves Wonder there and also allows him to kill Reckless. Like this kind of thing is not possible without the Senna player being really good and also being very conservative and safe with ult. Just really nicely done from Caps. Like these are kind of the situation where Senna and Soraka really feel cheaty to play versus. So here we have G2 with a lot of control on Fnatic jungle. Wonder getting a little bit over aggressive here. Need to back up using the hop and the ult, but he's going to get hit by Nautilus. And also the GP ult coming in. But at least Cocoon, nicely done. Lee Sin Q not hitting. The Frosty's coming in, but it's going to be on Mickey, who's flashing out. Now, Fnatic used a lot of tools to try to get there. And now they're in a situation where they're going to get flanked. They're just not in a good position. Reckless blowing up immediately. Rest of G2 collapsing in. Perks has the stopwatch. He was just buying time. Wonder coming in. Self-made going to die. And yeah, now Fnatic has to be on the run. So G2 just did such a good job of baiting Fnatic to chase into them. I think it was a mistake from Wonder, but Fnatic should know, hey, they have all these tools. They have the Cocoon, they have the stopwatches, they have the flash. We really shouldn't be chasing for this, but they chased for it. They burned all their ultimate, and now G2 is able to punish by wiping 4 members off the map and denying that 4th crucial dragon. I talked about it earlier, a little unfortunate that it's the Mountain Dragon Soul, but still very worthwhile for Fnatic to get. So we're going to skip forward for the next dragon to spawn. Both teams ready. Fnatic really wants it. Reckless caught out and chunked. Has to burn flash. Caps looking for the ult. They used the trinket to spot him. Waited until he was in the corner. Reckless panicked and used his ult. The Severn ult will not give you lifesteal unless you hit something. So that was just a complete waste. And he just panic ulted. Now G2 in a position where Fnatic has to funnel into them. They feel very safe. Aatrox and Braum being the front line. The Nautilus ult, pretty meaningless there. Perk's also incredibly tanky. I mean, this is kind of the problem with this Rise late game. That champion is just so tanky and also does so much damage and also can buy so much time with stopwatch. Like, you just can't ignore him. He's one of the best scaling champions. He's one of the best team fighters. He's one of the best split pushers. Just an amazing champion later on in the game with 40% CDR. And now G2 going to be able to get Baron, and that's pretty much the game. I think the game actually really blew up when Fnatic couldn't get the 4th Mountain Drake for the 4th Drake for the Mountain Soul, and G2 just had item advantages. And even though Fnatic's on the outscaling comp, you can't outscale people that have their items complete, that have map control, and that also just fight as well as G2 does. So rest of the game is Fnatic being kind of desperate. They're in random ass places, trying to push out the lane, trying to get picks, and G2 is just so strong across the map. I mean, the big guy was chasing Aatrox, he ends up dying. They can't kill Jankos and Wonder here, mid is getting pushed in, but both that, just the game is over. The game blew up. G2 is just going to get into split push situations, and the carries on Fnatic just don't have their items complete compared to G2. You can look at Reckless, he doesn't have his 3rd item complete, nor does Bwipo. And yeah, it's just such an unfortunate situation to be in. They have 2 people up topside while G2 is pushing mid lane. The game is done though, and Fnatic's just trying to get cute, trying to make picks, trying to do for like a desperate Hail Mary where they get a crucial pick and they're able to like catch G2 making dumb mistakes over and over again. It's just not going to happen. And yeah, even that hook is just suicidal. So as always, well done from G2. Still my favorite team to watch, even with the LCK team starting up. Gen G wasn't as fire as I thought they would be, and it's actually the other teams that are more interesting. So yeah, I'll do some LCK VODs later, but G2 is always a treat. Thank you everybody for watching, I always appreciate it. Let me know what other foreign VODs I should do, recommend me LCK games, recommend me LEC games. I definitely check the comments, I try to reply to you guys, and I definitely try to take your feedback and make my content better. So yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And one last thing, I'm not crazy, I'm just Loco. Bye!